people who were around in the 80s, was it a less anxiety-filled time than today? Why not? We knew terrible things were happening, but we didn't have them in our faces 24/7 with social media and round-the-clock news. We could turn the TV off and go outside, and ignore the state of the world for a little while. These days, not so much. I was told the Soviets would nuke us all. We had planet-ending anxiety. Less information overload for sure. Bad things happened, but you didn't get a notification about every single one of them in real time. The news was on twice a day, and then it was over. That alone probably accounts for a lot of the difference in baseline anxiety. Yet felt calmer back then. We had problems, but nothing like non-stop news and phones in our faces all day. There was the looming specter of nuclear war, the crack epidemic, rampant unplanned pregnancy, gang/gun violence, etc., but no one worried much about that stuff. Because of heavy metal music and Dungeons and Dragons, our parents were weirdly worried about Satanists. In the PNW, our parents would tell us not to stay out too late or the Green River Killer would get us. Constant threat of nuclear war hanging over our heads. Also, the day after, Testament, and my personal favorite, Threads. Way more anxiety. It was okay once you got used to the daily threat of nuclear holocaust. I was 7 to 17 through the 80s. It seemed more chill to me at the time. I was not concerned about climate issues/global warming back then, nor was I concerned that we could be a few social media posts away from nuclear Armageddon. I was a child and didn't know about the bad things in the outside world. There also wasn't 24/7 news coverage or social media. No one's parents were doing blogs or vlogs. Grew up in gang and crack-infested projects. Now is a cakewalk. I was in my 20s. Overall, it was a less stressful time. Prices were low, and nobody cared about each other's religious or political beliefs. It was easier to make friends. The only thing worse was the AIDS epidemic. But I was only a kid, probably more having to do with my age. It was a lot better, but we all thought we would die in nuclear war. Yes and no. I was a kid, so less that way due to zero-bill-related anxiety, but I was also getting bullied both at home and at school by the end of the decade, so more due to living somewhere unsafe. Honestly, the answer will vary widely and be partly based on if somebody is white or not, which country, age at the time, etc. Just different kinds of anxiety. I was pretty young in the 80s. I don't remember it being any less anxiety-inducing. Seems to me since humans have existed, something has been looming or a source of worry. Iran-Contra, late 80s, they said we're headed for a new ice age. 2000 Y2K was going to get us. The list goes on and on. I think we're going to be okay, until gulp we're not. I mean, it was dangerous as shit when I was a kid. I'm from an inner suburb just east of downtown Los Angeles. Today, that neighborhood is relatively expensive, so it doesn't have the ubiquitous gangs and drive-by shootings anymore. The upside is that we didn't have the modern 24-hour news cycle trying to find anything, even if they have to create it, to stir up anxiety for ratings. There was no social media or clickbait headlines to raise your anticipation and trigger your fight/flight response. News articles gave facts compared to now, where news articles offer a conclusion first. Guess what terrible things just washed up in the city's sewer, etc., etc. It was worse than now because of the Cold War. We really did think we would die in a nuclear holocaust. Queen said it quite succinctly. For we who grew up tall and proud, in the shadow of the mushroom cloud, convinced our voices can't be heard, just want to scream it louder and louder and louder. Guess you don't know they fucked our shit up with a much publicized movie on network television showing WWII. I was a kid, to be fair, but I think all emotions were pretty suppressed as compared to now. Showing actual worry or true feelings was so not cool. Emotions from a guy? Gay. Emotions from a girl? Crazy. Some of it is clearly social media and being bombarded with information now versus then, but let's not forget the emotional constipation of the past. I was a young teenager in the 80s and I had the time of my life. Yes, absolutely. In my cushy suburb, it was idyllic. NYC in 80s was a hellscape.
Good Lord, yes.
Number 24-hour news cycle. No internet. No 24/7 information, disinformation, and misinformation. I was in my mid-20s to mid-30s.